It's the Brad and John Show.
John, I have to admit, I'm not 100% this morning. I'm a little bit slow this morning. The drugs are still wearing off, okay? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay, Brad. That happens. You were laid up for quite a while.
Yeah, okay. 2 stories. First off, the J.C. Corcoran story. I'm driving out to the transmitter site on Sunday morning, and I'm punching buttons, and I hit the 1019 button, which is the refugee station. I used to call it the J3, now it's the J2 station. And who do I hear but J.C. Corcoran? And I'm listening to, he's on, I think from, on Sunday morning, he's on from 7 till 9. And it's sponsored by Skip Weber from Weber Chevrolet. He's good buddies.
Oh, nice. Very good.
He's good buddies with JC does 2 shows on the refugee station. He does a music show. I believe it's on Saturday night from 9 to 11. Would anybody else promote another radio station shows? And they're especially after he says he's going to, crunch my nose? Wasn't that what he said? What was his words?
Yeah, it was something like that. So you're punching buttons. Let's not get off track here, Brad.
Okay. This is what I find sad about JC. I loved his show. He was really good.
He was very good. He was very talented. But what frustrated you about this most recent story?
Oh, no, it's just the fact that I'm thinking to myself, this guy is so good, but yet he's got this crazy-ass attitude where nobody will touch him. And justifiably so. He's like a guy who walks into the studio and say, hey, look at this hand grenade. Oh, it's got this pin on it. I wonder if I pull this pin. Oh, I pulled the pin.
Brad, what does OWE stand for, and who do you apply it to?
Own worst enemy. And he played he played a really good interview with Jenna Fischer, the lady from The Office who is from St. Louis, and she really told some really interesting stories about growing up here in St. Louis and going. I can't remember if she said she went to Corrier's.
She went to Nearinx or something like that.
Yeah, she went to one of the Catholic, and it was interesting because she talked about the fact that she was in public school through junior high. And she was very, very shy, very introverted. And when she became, something about her parents said something to her. Something happened where she had the chance to go to Catholic high school, and she said, let's go. And she changed, and she become more outgoing. And the interesting thing was, she said something interesting because she said that, and she's not super old. I looked her up the other day. She's 51 now, so that would have meant she was born from in the 70s? Something like 70s, 80s?
Yeah, I just looked it up. She went to Nearinx and she graduated in 92.
Okay.
So I would put her at 51 or 52.
Okay. So the point she said was the thing that got her the most, that caught her attention the most, was when she became a Nearinx Hall student and they were running for student consul, she realized that all of the positions were going to be held by women because there were no men there. And she said that at the school she was at before, all the positions were held by men. And I thought that was really sort of interesting because even at her age, because she's a relatively youngster as far as I'm concerned, I'm 39 years older than her, as she's a relative youngster. Don't you find it fascinating that within the last 20, 30 years, everything has changed? I mean, as far as I looked at me having made my trip to the hospital yesterday, I had to go online and look for a doctor. And I'm looking through pages and pages and pages of doctors, and almost all of them are women now. And you go back 50, 60, 70 years, there were very few women who were doctors. Lots of nurses. And that's sort of interesting as well, too, because there were you never saw a male nurse, always female nurses. Now there's quite a few male nurses out there. A lot of the guys who've come out of the military have been trained as nurses in the military. But I just thought it was fascinating what she was talking about. But then JC gets on, then he has an interview with Skip Weber, and they talk about all this interesting stuff about the self-driving trucks, and Skip Weber is some big wig with the General Motors Dealers Association. He just got back from the big meetings. They talked about all the things coming down the line with General Motors and how General Motors has lost their butts on selling electric cars. But Skip says that it's going to turn around. That part of it is the fact that the electric cars are so expensive, and Chevy's got 2 very inexpensive Chevys coming out. The original hybrid that the Chevy came out was called the Volt, with a V as in Victor, and then they came out with the all-electric car, which was the Bolt, B as in Bravo, and now they're redoing the Bolt, and the Bolt's going to come out. He says that's going to sell for under $30,000, which right now I don't think there are hardly any electric cars you can get under $30,000.
Yeah, and how does that compare to what you would pay for an electric car at Pick and Pull?
Run it again. I have the cough. I didn't hear what you said.
How would that compare to what you would pay for an electric car at, say, Pick and Pull?
There are no electric cars at Pick and Pull, John.
Didn't you see one and you called your son and you said maybe you could come pick it up? I thought it was an electric car.
No. It was a big old monstrous. He drives the biggest SUV ever made. My son does. He has a Ford Excursion, which was like a huge, and they were only built for like 9 or 10 years, but they're monstrous vehicles. And they had one down at Pick and Pull. Well, the one I wanted was, you made fun of me, I wanted the Ford Flex. They had a Ford Flex, which...
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, some ugly, disgusting car that only you would drive, right?
It's not ugly and disgusting. It's a very good-looking car. Okay, so J.C. Corcoran, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy is so good, I could listen to this guy all day long. Okay, I'm a radio guy complimenting another radio guy. Do you think for a minute he would ever say anything nice about me, John?
Yeah, I think he would, and I think we've beat this to death, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And I remind Brad often when he gets petty and small that just because someone treats you a certain way doesn't mean you have to treat them the same way back. And Brad, I think we could spare people the crabs in a barrel and the rising tide speech. But yeah, just because J.C. Corcoran once made a funny comment to you on Facebook wouldn't mean that you would need to be small and petty to him going forward.
I'm not being small and petty.
That's what I just said, Brad. Accept a compliment.
I'm complimenting him. Yeah, I get it. And by the way, when the tides rise, it does kill all the crabs in the barrel. So that.
Oh, there we go, Brad. That's very good. And your point is, JC's on the radio and he's very good. Is there like a second butt to that, or is there like it's a shame he's not doing this or that?
The problem is he does not comply with corporate BS nowadays, which all the radio stations are owned by. There used to be edgy, funny, talented people on the radio on all the stations, okay?
And then Shelley decided that she was done with your show.
No.
And then Shelley decided she had enough.
The corporations have just sanitized everything to the point where, John, this show we could never be on like an Odyssey station.
I know. Odyssey, by the way, is hiring a sales rep. If you know anybody who's been trying to do radio ad sales and can't get decent support from a station owner, Odyssey is hiring for ad sales. And you're right, Brad. You couldn't have a show like this on an Odyssey station because we'd be off the air after a day.
Because we don't follow the format. They don't have the corporate format that 3 minutes after the hour you have to say, that's John Combest, and he's an award-winning political journalist, and we'll be right back after we play these commercials from our very important sponsors who took us out to dinner last week. So that's
when you homogenize the coverage, you make it easier to replicate and to scale, and that's why Odyssey is able to be in a million markets, because it's a paint by numbers approach.
And it's dull, it's boring, it's BS, and it's to the point where, and the crazy thing about this, I still have discussion with people saying, I listen to podcasts all the time, and I go to them, podcast is nothing but talk radio. What do you mean it's not talk radio? Talk radio is boring, okay?
Do you think most podcasters, Brad, I don't know if you have a position on this, if you went to most podcasters and you told them they could be on the radio, what would they say?
Oh, they'd jump at it.
Yeah, I know. That's one of your Brad's greatest.
But see, here's the interesting thing. Okay, Odyssey to a certain extent, not as much as iHeart. iHeart is becoming more of a digital platform, not necessarily just a radio platform. And if you listen to any of the the iHeart stations, they run tons of these commercials for podcasts. And some of them are like, if you put bamboo shoots under my fingernails and told me you would give me a Little Debbie's franchise, I would not listen to that show. There's one on right now, it's like Gronkowski, formerly of the Boston Patriots, New England Patriots, is on there with some other guy, Edelman or something like that, and they're talking about, hey, our show's talking about dudes. What kind of a dude are you?
It's a very dude show. Yeah, Julian Edelman.
You know what show I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen clips from it before. It's pretty funny.
It is funny?
Yeah, I've seen the video clips of it. Yeah, and by the way, when I say I've seen clips, I probably watched a total of 6 minutes of that show in my entire life. But there's a lot of former athletes, baseball, guys that played for the Royals, for example, have a pretty good one where it's just like kind of dude talk. And if it comes up in my algorithm and it's a topic I care about, I might invest 2 minutes watching it before I X out.
But most of the time they're boring. I mean, like there's things.
Yeah, to you, Brad. Oh, and John. I think that a lot of times people would, be driving through the Westplex or going through YouTube and hear an old guy talk about the P-51 Magnum And it's really interesting to that old codger. But most normal people are like, well, I'm not going to listen to it. So some people want to hear a former New England Patriot talk about a Super Bowl victory where Brad Hildebrand thinks that it's boring.
I'm not a sports guy, John. I'm sorry. I
know you don't need to apologize to me, but you get my point, Brad. You and Shelley could be on the air talking about the naming patterns at Lambert Airport, and by the fifth time I've heard it, it's an X out of YouTube moment for me in 2021. But to Brad Hildebrand, even though he talked about it every week for the last 3 years, he still wants to talk about it, and it's exciting to you. And there's probably somebody in a nursing home who would hear that, who wasn't able to actually get up and change the radio dial, who would actually leave it on and be like, oh, I like this Shelley woman, and I'll listen to the old guy's P51 story for the millionth time this month.
Okay, which reminds me, hold on, I'm going to pull something up here. Give me a minute. I got to see if I get my phone patched into the stupid equipment here, which it never works right. Because
at least it worked for Catherine Hanaway, Brad. Well, you got that one to work.
It took a couple times. That's what.
It's okay, but you got it though, Brad.
Right,
you came through.
Okay, hold on. Let me press this button right here. I'm going to press this button right here, and hopefully this is going to work. And it connected. I'm going to play you the audio from a new promo that I have not put on the air yet.
I can't wait to hear my AI voice.
Oh, no, it's not your AI voice. Okay, the visual on this is a new video which will be up today. The visual on this is an HVAC guy. Looks like your average HVAC guy in a uniform, and he's down in a basement, and he's working on a furnace, okay? Now, here.
Okay, I can picture that.
Okay, here we go. I hope this is going to play. Let's see if this is going to play. You ready? Here we go.
Yep.
It's not going to work. Damn it. This drives me nuts.
Hey, it's okay, Brad. It would be a good opportunity for people to go watch it. When you say it's going to be up, what's the call to action? It's going to be up on a billboard? It's going to be up in the Thrifty Nickel? Where are people going to see this?
It's going to be in Marcus Theaters, John, so everybody's going to sit there and watch it.
And so let's do a real call to action. If people want to see this video, you say it's going to be up, but where will it be up?
Hold on a minute. Here's what I'm going to do.
There we go.
I'm going to send it to you. You watch it. And here, we only got a couple minutes left in the show, but I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to message. And I think this is one of my best AI. Well, now it's clicking. The phone's working. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to send this to you. I'm going to try it one more time, see if it'll play.
Exchanger with a radio tuned to...
Okay, here it is.
The heat went out. I replaced the heat exchanger with a radio tuned to 104.5 in the Brad and John show. Lots of hot air. The heat went out. I replaced the heat exchanger with a radio tuned to 104.5 in the Brad and John show. Lots of hot air.
Did you hear that, John?
I did. Yeah, that's funny. So is the length on these usually like 8 to 10 seconds?
On VO3, we're now up to VO3.5. It's 8 seconds. Okay.
Oh, nice. And I'll ask again, Brad, and if you don't have an answer, I understand. When you say that your videos are up, where can people see them?
This will be on my Facebook page. This will be on numerous other Facebook pages. This will be on my Twitter feed. This will be on TikTok. It'll be a bunch of different places.
Nice. Okay. And where people can find you on Facebook at Brad Hildebrand?
Yes.
And where on TikTok can people find you?
TikTok, you can find me at Westplex, Westplex, Westplex. I'm right there.
Oh, that's a good name. Yes. You were able to nail that one down. Brad.
Yes. Okay. Last but not least, you mentioned about the fact that the Ameren you guys should take a look at somebody's checking account and say, oh, they can't pay the electric bill.
Why is Brad spending money on this nonsense? We're not going to give him a loan.
My banker, once upon a time, I will call him Mr. Raccoon. And some people know exactly who I'm talking about. I was dealing with the president of the bank and dealt with him for several years, had a really good relationship with him until it didn't. But that's a whole other story. And he told me that on several occasions he would have people come to him and say, Mr. Raccoon, I can't make my house payment. I can't make my car payment. Things are really bad for me. And he would say, okay, let me do a little research and I'll get back to you. So he personally, as the president of the bank, since people went to him where they sobbed their sob story to him, he would look at their checking account. And he told me one specific instance where some guy was using the ATM at guess where, John?
I bet it was at a place where people dance in clear heels.
Oh, it was at the casinos. The guy was using
his casino.
The guy was using his ATM card at the casino, and he was taking out hundreds of dollars at a time. And at one point in time, this guy had 2 ATM cards from the bank, both one from his checking account, one from his savings account, and he's sucking money out of his accounts to gamble, and he's going into the bank to plead poor because he can't make his house payment, he can't make his car payment. Guess what Mr. Banker did?
He said, yes, you can have as much money as you want.
He said...
And put a little bit of money on red.
He said, T.S., we're coming to get your car, and we're coming to get your house. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Now, that gentleman who is the customer clearly had an addiction problem or a compulsive gambling problem. But the banker said, hey, no way. Now, see, why wouldn't he do that and say, hey, this guy fritters away money on domains he'll never follow through on? Like, what if he did that?
John, you're always so complimentary of me.
Jam fob, yes, jam. This is part of your recovery bit, Brad. Your surgeon said that I need to give you something that builds a little resilience, you know?
Jam
and you can find it at bradgallbladder.com.
JMFOB. Look it up in the BJ Show .co-glossary.
You know, you can go to the sister site of snarfitup.com called snatchitout.com, and it's just pictures of your prostate and your gallbladder.
You know what Obama says to that?
What does he say?
Don't be bamboozled.
That's what he said.
Don't be bamboozled. Brett, I'm so glad that you're on the right side of the grass today. You think you'll be here tomorrow?
Well, John, I have a 2:20 appointment with my surgeon, and you may never hear from me again. They may just say, oh, you know what? Already I got one foot in the grave and one foot in the banana peel, so you never know when that other foot's going to slip.
And the saddest thing about it is somebody already stole your $500 cash envelope from the station.
Yes, they did. I can't find it.
That's the worst part. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow, Brad.